Karamatu Fatimata Zubayriyah. The supernatural sainthood privilege of Fatima Az-Zubayriyah. كانت امرأة تقية من أهل العراق. There was a God-fearing woman amongst the people of Iraq. Hajjat. She performed pilgrimage. ثم زارت الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم. And then she visited the messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم. ثم نوت الإقامة في مكة. Then she intended to reside in Mecca. So the iqama usually means not a traveler. Yani in terms of fiqh, at least in the Shafi'i school, the iqama is intending to stay somewhere for 4 days or more. Not including entry and exit days. And so you're not a traveler. You are a muqim, a resident. And also not a mustawtin, not a citizen, if you accept that word. So, nawatil iqamata fi Makkah. So, she intended to reside in Mecca. Is that the legal meaning of residing, or this means that she intended to move there and stay there? Maybe it will come clear in the story, or maybe we need to ask. فصار لها شهرة بالتقوى والصلاح والعلم. And so she became famous for God-fearingness and piety and knowledge. Yes. She was a knowledgeable woman. Rahimahullah. ثم عميت سنتين. Then she went blind for 2 years. ثم ذات ليلة أرادت أن تتوضأ لصلاة الليل. Then one night, she wanted to make wudu to pray at night. ثم تزحلقت. ثم تزحلقت على درج. Then she slipped on a step. فانكسر ضلعان من أضلاعها. فانكسر ضلعان من أضلاعها. And she broke 2 of her ribs. Subhanallah, that's calamity there. That hurts. Puts you out of commission. Subhanallah. وَمَعَ ذَلِكَ تَكَلَّفَتْ وَصَلَّتْ. And despite that, she bore the pain and she prayed. Subhanallah, that's strong iman. And not to mention that it's mentioned that some of the wise ones, they said, the strength of the believer is not in his muscles. The strength of the believer is in his heart. Don't you see that the old man can fast all day and pray all night while the young man can't? Yani, if it had been by muscles, the young man would be the one who can fast all day and pray all night. So she had strong heart. ثم نامت. And then she slept. فرأت الرسول وأبا بكر وعمر مقبلين من جهة الكعبة. And in her dream, she saw the messenger and Abu Bakr and Umar coming from the direction of the Kaaba. باب بيتها كان مواجها للكعبة. The door of her house was towards the Kaaba. That's so nice. How she managed to get such a nice house. Subhanallah. فجاء الرسول. And then the messenger came, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. فبصق على طرف ردائه, and he spit into the edge of his shawl. وقال لها امسحي به عينيك, and he told her, wipe your eyes with it. فأخذت الرداء, so she took the shawl. فمسحت به عينيها, and she wiped her eyes with it. But saying she saw them coming in her dream. So as if it means in her dream she could see. فأبصرت في الحال, and then she became sightful immediately. But she's still sleeping. Yani, she didn't wake up yet. So what does this mean? Does it mean in her dream she could see, but she's blind? Like she's blind, but it's as if she could see something while she's blind? And then she took that from the Prophet and wiped her eyes, and then she could see? Really? ثم وضعته على موضع الكسر فتعافى. Then she put it on the spot of the break, and the break healed. ثم استيقظت, and then she woke up. ثم لما جاءت خادمتها رأتها مبصرة. Then when her servant came, she saw her seeing. فقصت عليها قصتها, and she told her story. كثير من نساء مكة استفدن منها. Many of the women of Mecca benefited from her. بالزهد والعلم والتقوى, in monasticism, disinterest in the world, and knowledge and God-fearingness. SubhanAllah. Yani, she was an influencer of the best kind. كانت حنبلية, she was a Hanbali. فاطمة بنت أحمد بن عبد الدائم الزبيرية. She is Fatima, the daughter of Ahmad, the son of Abdul Da'im, and she is Az-Zubayriyah. Why Zubayriyah? I don't know. In reference to what? I don't know. ثم الرسول أشار لها إلى اثنين. And furthermore, nice. Furthermore, the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam pointed out to her two people, two men. Thumma, then, here, then, apparently the word then here does not refer to sequence of events. And thumma, that is. The word thumma here does not refer to sequence of events, and rather refers to presentation of information. Don't forget that the word thumma in Arabic, it can mean then. Then means sequence with considerable time. Sequence thumma, which means then. It can mean sequence, that's order of events, sequence of events. With considerable time in between those events. They came in the order mentioned with time in between them. That's first meaning of thumma, but doesn't appear to mean that here. And sometimes thumma can mean merely and, yani al-wow. Sometimes thumma can mean al-wow, and. And sometimes, so when we say thumma means then, it means either sequence of events or it means a sequence of information. So, for example, if it means sequence of information, then you'd say, for example, I gave him a place to stay. Then before that, I gave him money. Then before that, when he was a child, I took care of him. So what does then mean here? It means also this information and also this information. Doesn't mean sequence of events, because I just told you backwards. Why I just stopped for this? Because this is important in Aqidah. ثم استوى. ثم, it does not only mean sequence of events. Anyway, back to the story here. ثم الرسول أشار لها إلى اثنين. Then, furthermore, take more information. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when she was asleep, before she woke up, he pointed out two men to her in her dream. قال لها هذان في زمانهما عالمان من أهل مكة مثل أبي بكر وعمر في زمانهما. هذان في زمانهما عالمان من أهل مكة مثل أبي بكر وعمر في زمانهما. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told her, these two, in their time, are two scholars of the people of Mecca, as if they are like, they are comparable to Abu Bakr and Umar in their time. في علو درجتهما في زمانهما, meaning they're high level at their time, very high level at their time. What an honor. وأشار إلى اثنين من العلماء, and she pointed at and he pointed out to her two other scholars. فقال لها هذان فاسقان. He said to her, these two are major sinners, these two scholars. ذمهما, he dispraised them, عليه الصلاة والسلام. فلما استيقظت أخبرت خادمتها. So, I remember when I learned the story before, it's the same dream. I don't remember there's two different dreams here. That's why I went through all the trouble about thumma. And now it says, and when she woke up, so as far as I know, it's the same waking. It's the same awakening here. Just that he told something that she saw in her dream and then said she woke up. Then he went back to her dream and added more and then repeated, and then she woke up. That's how I know it. فَلَمَّا اسْتَيْقَظَتْ أَخْبَرَتْ خَادِمَتَهَا. So when she woke up, she told her servant lady or servant girl. وَانْتَشَرَ خَبَرُهَا فِي الْأَرْضِ. And then her news spread throughout the land. وَصَارَ الْعُلَمَاءُ يُرَاسِلُونَهَا. And the scholars were contacting her. وَأَخْبَرَتِ الْعَالِمَيْنِ دَيْنَيْنِ بِمَا رَأَتْ. And she told those two scholars what she saw. Yes. What did the Prophet say? Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Prophethood has gone away. And all that is left are the glad tidings. They said, what are the glad tidings, O Messenger of Allah? He said, the glad tidings are for you to see a good dream or to be seen in a good dream and then be told. فطلب منها ألا تخبر الناس في حياتهما من شدة تواضعهما. And she sought from them to not, and they sought from her to not tell the people, as long as they are alive, who they are, from the intensity of their humbleness. Yes, that's what sometimes they do. Those people of knowledge and piety, when some of their merit is exposed to someone, they would say, don't tell anyone as long as I'm alive. And amongst that, it was reported that Imam As-Suyuti, rahimahullah, had a servant. And he asked him, do you want to go to the haram? Told him, yes. So he told him, don't tell anyone as long as I'm alive. And then he took him by the hand. And then he took him to the haram by foot. Yani, according to that, Imam As-Suyuti was amongst the people of the footsteps. That's one of the types of saints. So they requested of her not to tell anyone about them as long as they are alive. يَخَافَانِ عَلَى أَنفُسِهِمَا الْفِتْنَةَ وَالرِّيَاءَ. They feared for themselves tribulation and insincerity. أولياء الله يخافون على أنفسهم أن يقعوا في الفتنة. God's saints fear for themselves to fall into tribulation. ثم هذه الكرامة لهذه الولية معجزة للرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم. Furthermore, this supernatural sainthood privilege, it is at the same time a miracle for the messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam. هذه أعجب من معجزة عيسى عليه السلام الذي دعا لهم فشفوا. This is more amazing than the miracle of Jesus, may peace be upon him. The one who supplicated for the sick and then they were cured. الرسول بالمنام شفى بإذن الله. The messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam, by a dream, cured by God's permission. And as for the other two scholars, it was said that she spoke to them and then they improved after she spoke to them. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi. What a mercy. What a mercy. Subhanallah. قصة ولي من الحبشة. The story of a saint from Abyssinia, or if you want, from Ethiopia. حصل في الحبشة أن شيخا من الأولياء منهوم بالعبادة يحب الصلاة كأنه يلتذ بالصلاة ما لا يلتذ كثير من الناس بالأكل والشرب. It happened in Abyssinia. I like translating Habasha as Abyssinia more than Ethiopia because it sounds closer and it's older. I think Abyssinia is older as a name than Ethiopia. That's for my inclination of liking what is traditional over what's new. It happened that in Abyssinia, there was a sheikh amongst the saints. Manhumun bil ibadah. Manhum. I'm looking up manhum here in Mukhtar as-Sahah. We're looking here under the letters Nun, Ha, Mim. Nun, Ha, Mim. النهمة بلوغ الهمة في الشيء يعني exertion. وقد نهم بكذا نهمة فهو منهوم أي مولع به. وفي الحديث منهومان لا يشبعان منهوم بالمال ومنهوم بالعلم. Okay. Yeah. Like as if means insatiable. Insatiable. He can't get enough. A sheikh who was one of the saints, manhumun bil ibadah, can't get enough worship. Yuhibbu salah, loves to pray. كأنه يلتذ بالصلاة ما لا يلتذ كثير من الناس بالأكل والشرب. As if the pleasure he gets from prayer it surpasses the pleasure that many people get from eating and drinking. That's big. Because the human being likes eating and drinking more than he likes, this general statement, more than he likes sexual intercourse. So as if he gets more pleasure from prayer than eating and drinking. هذا الولي اسمه محمد وداتو. This saint, his name is Muhammad Widdatu. من شدة ما هو مولع بالصلاة, from his intensity of being insatiated, yani always wanting to pray. صار يخرج إلى غابة قريبة من ضيعته. He used to go out to غابة. So what I understand from غابة is the woods or the forest. The woods or the forest. قريبة من ضيعته. So let me look here. Just to be sure. غابة, where are we going to look here in the dictionary? Under غين ياء باء. غين ياء باء. How do we know it's a ya? Because the alif is either from a ya or a waw, according to the rules of sarf. And most likely, I mean, if I didn't know this word, I would assume it comes from ghayn ya ba, ghaib, absent, ghaiba, absent. So here I'm looking it up. غين ياء باء والغابة الأجمة والغابة الأجمة. The أجمة, now I remember that the أجمة is the trees. Let me see something. Here. Al-Ajamah with 3 fathas. According to Al-Misbah, intertwined or gathered trees. Al-Maqayis, a collective growth of trees. So it's a jungle or a thicket or a forest. Okay. So, صار يخرج إلى غابة قريبة من ضيعة. He started going to, perhaps it's some woods. The woods, that's lighter than a forest. And definitely lighter than a jungle. So he started going to some woods that were close to his village. حتى يصلي كما يشاء, so that he could pray as he wished. ولا يشغله أحد, and no one would busy him or interrupt him or occupy him. فظل يصلي هناك حتى حصل له ذات يوم استغراق. And so he stayed praying there until it happened to him one day that he became completely engulfed. Supernaturally engulfed. وهو قائم, while standing, غاب, he went away. صار لا يتكلم مع أحد. He began not speaking to anyone. ولا يأكل, and not eating. ولا يشرب, and not drinking. ولا يجلس طرفة, and not sitting even for a moment. لا في ليل ولا في نهار, neither in the night nor in the day. الناس الذين يمرون من تلك الناحية رأوه. The people who are passing by from that area saw him. فصاروا يعطفون عليه لما رأوه تحت السماء وليس فوق رأسه شيء بنوا عليه ظلة عريسة. So they became concerned about it. When they saw him beneath the sky without any cover, they built a canopy over him. Something to shade him. They built something over him. بنوا.
Sorry, Shaykhi, did you say Arisha or Arisa?
I don't know. عريشة. بنوا عليه ظلة عريشة. So this should be fatha here. Bano. Because the word is bana. Bana. Originally it's bana, yeah. But the ya turns into an alif, so it becomes bana. Then you bring the wow. The wow has sukoon and the alif has sukoon. So you remove the first thing that has sukoon. So it becomes beno. Beno alayhi dhullatan arisha. They built over him a canopy of a sort. بنوا فوق رأسه عريشة حتى تظله من الشمس. They built something over him to shade him from the sun. وَهُوَ لَا عِلْمَ وَلَا شُعُورَ لَهُ بِهِمْ. And he has no knowledge about them, and he has no perception of their presence. فَأَحَدُ الْأَشْخَاصِ مِنَ الطَّيِّبِينَ قال قلت في نفسي لعل الشيخ يظل بالنهار واقفا وبالليل يستريح. And one of the good people, he said, I said to myself, maybe the sheikh is just staying all day standing, but at nighttime he relaxes. لَأُرَاقِبَنَّهُ اللَّيْلَ. I swear to God, I will indeed observe him tonight. قَالَ ذَهَبْتُ إِلَيْهِ. He said, I went to him. فَبِتُّ أُرَاقِبُهُ اللَّيْلَ. And I spent the night observing him. كُلَّهُ, all night. فَلَمْ أَرَهُ وَهُوَ يَجْلِسُ. And I did not see him sit. بَلْ هُوَ كَمَا بِالنَّهَارِ. Rather, he is as he was all day. حَتَّى قَضَى شَهْرَيْنِ. Until he spent 2 months like that. أَكْمَلَ شَهْرَيْنِ وَهُوَ فِي هَذِهِ الْحَالِ. He spent 2 months like this. ثُمَّ ذَهَبَ مِنْ تِلْكَ الْأَرْضِ إِلَى الْعَاصِمَةِ. Then he left that land to go to the capital. Yani, when he came to, ظَلَّ هُنَاكَ سِنِينَ. And he stayed there for years at the capital, or in the capital. هَذَا الرَّجُلُ كَانَ بَارًّا بِأُمِّهِ. This man was good to his mother. Subhanallah. Yes. كان إذا حصل في الضيعة وفاة يهتم بتجهيز الميت. And also, if anyone would pass away in the village, he would take care of preparing the dead. وَكَانَ قَدْ تَعَلَّمَ عِلْمَ الدِّينِ. And he learned the knowledge of the religion. كَانَ مُحَصِّلًا لِعِلْمِ الدِّينِ. He acquired the knowledge. عَاشَ نَحْوَ 70 عَامًا مِنَ الْعُمُرِ. He lived for about 70 years. Rahimahullah. May Allah have mercy upon him. Do we even know what was going on with that wali who stood for 2 months while he was standing there? All I know, yani, is what's here in the story. Ghaba. He went away. Subhanallah. So what does that mean? What is such an experience? I don't know. Ya Kareem. قصة الرجل المرابي يتعاطى الربا وما حصل له في قبره. The story of a riba dealer. The story of a man who was a riba dealer. And what happened to him in his grave. ليحذر المؤمن من جميع أنواع الربا. Let the believer beware of all types of usury and interest. ولا يستهن بشيء من الربا. يستهن. Yes, from istahan. Istahana yastahinu. لا يستهن. Yani, let the believer stay away from all types of interest and usury. ولا يستهن بشيء من الربا. And let him not underestimate anything about usury or interest. Subhanallah. فإن عاقبة الربا وخيمة. Indeed. The consequence of interest and usury is wakhima, a disaster. وقد ظهر من الناس بعد وفاتهم وهم في قبورهم آثار من العذاب. There did appear from some people after their deaths, while they were in their graves, traces of the torture. عذاب القبر, torture of the grave. كانوا معروفين بالربا. They were famous for interest and usury. في ناحية من نواحي بلاد الحبشة. In one of the areas of Abyssinia. كان رجل يرابي. There was a man who was a riba dealer. معروفا بالمراباة. Known, famous for this. ومع ذلك كان فيه تجبر على الناس. And on top of that, he was tyrannical. He was an oppressor of the people. A bully. He was a bully. حتى إنه كان مرة في موكب. Even once he was in a procession. وهو راكب بغلة. He was riding a mule. فرأى امرأة أعجبته. And he saw a woman that he liked. فأخذها قهرا وزوجها رجل مسكين ضعيف. So he took her forcefully. He kidnapped her. And her husband was a poor, weak man. فأخذها منه قهرا. So he just took her from him. That man, was nothing he could do. So he humiliated this man. And one of the ultimate ways of humiliation. So such a bad, mean, evil person. ثم مات هذا الرجل. Then this man died. فصار يطلع من قبره الدخان. And smoke was coming up out of his grave. صار أهله يجمعون له المشايخ. His family started to gather the sheikhs. فقال لهم بعض المشايخ استسمحوا له الناس الذين كان يأخذ منهم المال بالقرض. So the sheikh started telling his family, seek requests from the people to pardon him. Those whom he was taking loans from. He was giving out loans. Looks like he's a loan shark. He was what they call loan shark. Someone who has predatory practices in his loans, his loaning. Taking advantage of those who need loans. لأنه اشترط بإقراضه لهم جر منفعة له. Because he would make as a condition for his loaning that he would get some benefit or profit from these loans. He would give loans with strings attached. If you give a loan, it has to be without strings attached. All you do is get your money back. That's it, or whatever it was you loaned. فصاروا يدورون على الناس. So they started going around to the people. And look, subhanallah, such a mean person, he had people who cared about him. Subhanallah wa bihamdi. ويقولون لهذا سامح فلانا ولهذا. So they were saying to the people, they would say to so-and-so, pardon him. And they would say it to so-and-so and to so-and-so. وكثير من الناس يقرؤون له على القبر. And many people were reciting over his grave. Subhanallah. And those Muslims were still looking out for him. The Muslims, I swear to God, the Muslims are the best people. I take Allah as my witness that the Muslims are the best people. Had the Muslims been like the kuffar, something else would have been seen from them. ثم بعد 7 أيام انقطع هذا الدخان. Then after 7 days, the smoke stopped من قبره, from his grave. وما يستره الله أكثر. وما يستره الله أكثر. And whatever Allah has kept hidden of this man's situation is even more. Subhanallah. إنما يظهر القليل من الكثير. Or that's my assumption of what that means. And what Allah covered for this man is more. Yasturuhu. Okay. إنما يظهر القليل من الكثير. Allah only exposed a little bit of a lot. الله تبارك وتعالى يخفي حال أكثر المرابين. Allah keeps hidden the situation of most of the riba dealers. ولا سيما في هذا العصر, especially in this time. Yani, they have very severe sin on them. They are cursed, and that might not appear. ولا سيما في هذا العصر ما أكثر عددهم. How many of them there are? نسأل الله السلامة. We ask Allah for the safety. And who deals in riba in the Muslim world? You didn't know? Yeah, amongst them is the Wahhabis. Yes. Wahhabis are big riba dealers. La'natullahi ta'ala alayhim. Wallahu alam. That's the end of the book. Any questions?
بارك الله فيكم شيخ.
That
was a lovely text. May Allah bless you.
Yes, yes. And I thank Allah for giving me the opportunity to teach it.